Welcome to the Pure Energy Healing Academy. Oh yes, looks like a mushroom, doesn't it? So yes, there's not mushroom in this room, but there you go, it's a mushroom. I'm a fun guy. Oh, such bad jokes, but then again, gets rid of all the people that are judgmental. They've already gone. I, Do you know, sometimes it'd be nice to give you guys a taster of what it really feels like at this end, behind the scenes. I don't normally talk about it too much, but maybe I should give you a taste of a day in the life of Mark Bajerski. I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is um, switch my phone on just to see if there's any messages that need to be answered from markbajerski.com to look after a business with the amount of staff we've got. It's not difficult, but we do have customers that sometimes ask for certain things, and we need to step to it and answer them back as quickly as we can. And the staff obviously ask me questions. That's with regards to crystals. Can you help me choose a crystal? Can you help me give me advice on crystals? So that takes up sometimes an hour or so, and then through the day the same thing happens through that day and at night. So maybe about 3 hours of work takes up by me online looking at my messages and looking at the staff's messages. That's just the first thing. I get my breakfast and I purposely do a video in the morning as much as I can, as many times as I can. That's normally live when I'm having breakfast to kill two birds with one stone, which I don't like killing any birds, but yeah, I just like to do a video to share some truths. I've been doing this for many years now. I did it mainly on Facebook, but Facebook took everything down, took my beautiful account down that I'd had for over 20 years because of what I was saying. They didn't like what I was saying, which I talked mainly about the Britney Spears three dart finish and saying be extremely careful, guys, hang back, stand back, don't rush into it. And just happens to be that it was a wise move after all, wasn't it? Because of the amount of people who are now absolutely suffering, or let's just call it sudden death syndrome, which nobody knows what that is, but yeah. So they took my beautiful channel down that had all my pictures, all my photos. I don't mean to be sounding moaning here because it is what it is. All the beautiful info that I'd had on there, all the amazing work that I'd channeled and put on there, all disappeared in one night. Wouldn't let me back on because of what I was saying. And that was basically just be careful, guys. Think about it. Do your research. Do your homework. Dangerous, that, isn't it? And sharing the fact that people were telling me all horrific stories of what was happening to them. So, like anybody else would, you'd share it, wouldn't you? If you were getting messages from all over the world saying I just had Britney Spears and my face isn't moving, or I can't meditate anymore, I don't know what the hell's going on, and so on. What am I going to do? Say nothing? Of course I'm going to say something. That's not a lie, that's my clients telling me. And how many clients have I got? Well, clients, personal one-to-one clients, I've got maybe 20,000. Friends, over 300,000, I would say, worldwide. Not only who watch here, but the 54,000 friends on followers on Facebook, 5,000, plus another channel that I had, which had 20,000, and another one which has 10,000. Instagram 10,000, and I guess everybody who just every now and again watches YouTube and don't actually go on because they've not got they're not subscribed. So you can imagine how many other people. So that's in the morning. I do a video. I make that video to what's going on in the world with my clients telling me firsthand. So how many messages do I get a day? Around 200. sometimes 300 or 400, depending on if I've been on a radio show or one of my videos have gone viral. This year, no video really has gone viral. I did one video which was, I think I just did like a spiritual reading, and it hit about 80 or 90,000 views, and that's not really viral. But yeah, that did okay. Everything else has done a few thousand. So of course YouTube have shadow banned me. Of course Instagram have shadow banned me. You can't even find me on Instagram anymore because of me speaking my truth. And why would that be dangerous? Why would a healer be dangerous? If it's all nonsense, why would anybody even look at it? They'd just laugh, wouldn't they? Unless it's true, and then you become dangerous. So it's the stuff that I was sharing was true because it was real life experience. So my clients were telling me the effects that they were going through and the issues that were happening and in their lives. So I shared that with my friends, and of course I've not got a big following on Instagram anymore. I might have 20 people watching, but yes, I'm still dangerous and they still shadow ban me. Ridiculous, really. So that's what I do in the morning. I make the video, share it with you. I do get a lot of grief. I've got to admit, lots of grief. A lot of people are really nasty, really nasty. Bible bashers used to be really bad, but now it's the woke folk, the ones who think they know what they're talking about, and the ones who are really negative, really nasty. So there's a lot of them about, a lot of judgmental people. So when I make the video, through a day, I'll get a lot of maybe 20 or 30 really awful messages. Do I get a lot of nice messages through the day? Loads. So the ones that are nasty, I don't even look at them anymore, to be honest. Because I know that those people are going through terrible issues from the Britney Spears. A lot of people are, but they won't admit it. They can't join the dots, even though the dots are so close together. They still can't, and they won't. And you can understand why. Why would I say, yeah, I've made a mistake? Nobody wants to admit that they've made a mistake and admit that they followed a government that couldn't care a damn about anybody. So there you go. It is what it is. So you have to put up with that. So when you're speaking your truth, it's become dangerous now on the black screen, and it's become dangerous with many people. Now, I do know there's lots of people out there who work for certain agencies that are deliberately paid to post terrible things and negative things to anybody who is posting truth. So I know there's a lot of them. I met one when I was in Bali not so long ago, so I know how it works. I think a lot of them are ashamed of their job. They're angry, bitter. I'm not going to say little because that's not true. They're a normal size, but inside they are very little. Inside they're very weak. And they do this job because they get paid, and they get paid a lot. And they may work for small agencies that get paid by bigger agencies and so on, which I've shared with you guys. I've told you all. There is a lot of corruptness on the internet now, and you think you're speaking to somebody who is a person when a lot of the times it's AI technology, or it's people who are paid to say nasty things and to try and stop you. That's how it works. So when they couldn't really, this started about 3 years ago, when they couldn't stop that because it wasn't working, that's when they started doing the banning, the shadow banning, and not allowing you on your sites. It's just clever manipulation by those who are propaganding or I can never say that word. Well, those people who are working deliberately to change the world into darkness. And that's the bottom line. They want to confuse the world. They want to confuse our children. They want to poison us. They want to make us feel sick. They want to make us not think for ourselves. They want to just control us and enslave us so we do what we're told and buy what we're told to buy. So I talk about this through my morning chats. I talk about it through the day. I make videos. I try my best not to go too deep because it can be really upsetting, but I try and find the balance and make videos of love and kindness. Now, remember, after you've watched this and you felt it was nice and you say, oh, thanks, Matt, what a lovely message. There's, for every one of them, there's one which is really nasty, really, really awful. People can be really just damn right evil. So you have to put up with that as well. As a healer, we have to put up with the negativity and the people who are in such a dark place. So we have to put up with that energy. We have to deal with that. How do we deal with it? Normally just brush it aside and not let it affect you. But I'm just giving you an idea of what happens in a day, in a life of a healer. So let's say in a day I'm called evil. That's a normal one. I'm called satanic, believe it or not. I'm called satanic. Yeah, that's normally like, really? Like, yeah, I'm just a healer who talks love and truth. You know, how can that be satanic? Why aren't you chasing after the pedophiles and the ones who do child sacrifice? Why are you chasing a healer? Well, then you realize they're just bullies and they're looking for the weakest person they can see, and how they see weakness is love. So when they look at love and somebody sharing love and somebody smiling, they see weakness. That's how they judge that. So that's how it works. So from there, you've got your many levels of craziness. I mean, we live in a world of madness now. You've got your level of people who are just vindictive in nature, you know, saying, you know, curses, we're going to curse you, we're going to curse your family, your children, get lots of that. Again, just weakness. And you know me, I talk about all these people who claim to be powerful black magic and curses. They're nothing. They're just weak, insecure, very, very frail minded and spirited people. Useless. Any of them things that any letters or messages that you get on people claiming that if you don't do something, then you'll be cursed, all of that, that's complete and utter nonsense. And you've heard me say, if you buy into it, then you'll create it, because you've created it, not the letter and not the message. So I'm just telling you what comes in from day to day. So push all that aside. Then you've got your opinionated people. The opinionated people always look for whatever you say that doesn't reflect what they think and feel. So I will give you, I could give you 1,000 for instance, but the last video I did, I got about 13 or 14 messages inbox saying, you know, oh, I didn't think this about you, or I didn't think you were that sort of person. Oh, I'm shocked at the way you behave. I'm shocked at the way you teach, and now look at you, you look angry and so on. So that's opinionated people. Now they're looking for people to make them feel better. They're constantly looking for affirmation, confirmation of what they think and feel. So they're the opinionated people. That's easier to deal with. That's not a big issue because they're not in such a bad place. They're just that way because of their programming as a child, and they haven't bothered to fix it and look after it. So all they do is they repeat of what their mum's done or dad's done or whatever they've copied and whoever they've listened to. So it's a program. And then you've got your judgmental people. The judgment becomes a little bit harsher because it comes with nastiness. So it's it's filled with ego, it's just cesspit energy. So you have to deal with many levels of these people. Then, okay, throughout the day, when you take all that away, I have to deal with, you've got your level of people who look upon me as, I don't know why, I've never said follow me. I've never said listen to everything that I say and believe it. I've said listen, this is my truth. Study it for yourself, go and look for it, and don't ever look for somebody to bow down to or see as a guru, because it's dangerous. And I realized it was dangerous right at the beginning of this journey of mine. Why? Because many people came to me and then started looking, well, like many people look for a savior. And it doesn't matter whether it's a government that a savior, a one man as a savior, or a company as a savior. They're looking for a savior for themselves because they don't have the strength to be the savior themselves. So this is something that I noticed very early on. I've never been that way because I've been a black sheep. I've always been a black sheep. And people think they're a black sheep, but they're not. They're not. They say they are, but they're not. A black sheep is somebody who doesn't need other people to save them. They are just comfortable in their own energy. If they heal themselves, they work on themselves, they go through whatever they go through by themselves because they're a black sheep. So they work in that energy, and they certainly don't look up to people. They look up to themselves, they work on themselves, and they just do their best. So there's been many a times in my past, and even up till today, it continues where people get upset with me because I don't feed what they need from me because they think I'm a saviour. And it's really challenging to find the balance of how you can help somebody with love and also let them be, so that they go through what they need to go through in their own energy. If I'm supporting somebody all the time because they're falling and I lift them back up, if I keep stopping, holding them, oh, you nearly fell there, oh, you nearly fell there, all that will happen is I'll be exhausted and they'll never actually learn what they need to learn because, like me, I've fallen many times. Now let's go on to something else. All of these people who judge and say, what do you know? Always questioning, always trying to find out what I've been through and what pain I am, so that they can judge me on what I'm saying. Like I need to tell them about my pain and suffering for them to say, okay, you can talk about it. I ask many of my friends, the same question. Have you ever walked in this life, and never felt any pain? I mean, they say there's no such thing as stupid questions, but sometimes you wonder why. Why would you even? Of course we all go through pain. Everybody goes through suffering. Have you ever felt extreme pain? I mean, what a question is that? I mean, your extreme pain can be completely different from mine. And you might judge it by thinking that yours is more powerful and more painful. Oh, that's not extreme pain. Well, how do you know? Everybody feels differently, and everybody feels pain in the same way, in the sense of, doesn't matter what you go through, it's still traumatic. So these are the things that are said to me as well. Then you've got those that are wanting information on what I do, how I do it. They want everything for nothing, and they want to push and keep pushing me all the time. Oh yeah, you say you're a giver, you say you're the healer of hearts, but you're not, because you don't give me what I want. This is coming from selfish people who don't stop. They just don't know when to stop. So you give a little bit and then they continue and they get worse and worse. So I have to find the balance there as well. So this is just a fraction of my day. I could go on to different subjects of what happens on a daily basis, but I won't. But I'm just giving you a taste of my life. Now, do you think that you could cope with all of that and still smile at the end of a video? Well, maybe you could go a little cuckoo and start laughing as a crazy laugh. But to be honest, if you are a healer and you've worked with clients for many years, and you've worked with people who are certified, they call them certified when they've been in and out of institutions and done some real harm to people. When you've healed many of those kinds of people who are going through that challenge, and they've become better and stronger and happier, and they don't hurt anybody. When you're with people who are suicidal and you've worked with them and you've seen that energy disappears to become an amazing energy to love and heal again and to feel wonderful. When you've seen the suffering at such a point where somebody is taking their last breath because cancer is filled their body, and they take their last breath and then they've gone. When you've seen things like this and you've been involved in it, things don't bother you as much, the little things. They don't affect you as much because you really truly understand what true life is. Because the truth is this, guys, and this is the truth. All of that nonsense that's thrown at you all day long, if any one of those people suddenly found out they'd got cancer and they'd only got a day to live, they would completely change the way they were. and they wouldn't act in such an absolutely low energy as they do to this day. They'd realise what true life is about. And you know what I noticed? When people are moving into the light, I noticed that they judge themselves, and a lot of the times they shake their head, and they normally say, it's not words, but it's like a revelation of, oh my God, why did I do what I did, and why didn't I do what I should have done? It's almost like at the moment of moving into the light, you see what you have never seen before. And it's a beautiful moment because it gives you that moment to look at what you've done and to judge yourself by everything that you've done, said, and all your actions. And it is actually a beautiful moment, because there's never anybody who's ever felt as they were moving into the light like, oh my God, this is the most awful moment. No, it's judging your life, but not in a way of beating yourself up. It's just seeing it in a pure clarity that is so, there's no word for it. It's so pure and loving. That's why I use pure energy healing. That was one of the reasons why, when one of my clients was moving into the light, she didn't need to say anything. I could just feel the story of moving into the light and then going home. And it was lovely. That process was lovely, because it's a self mechanism that we have, because the spirit then kicks in from the brain. So the brain starts to fade, and then the spirit becomes the essence of who you are. So you can see it in the face. You can see this isn't the brain talking. This isn't the brain that's creating this energy. This is the spirit that is now understanding all that is and ever will be and ever shall be. It's just, it's infinite. It's beautiful. So feeling that, the power of the moment that you're moving into the light, for the moment that your spirit then takes over and moves from the body and moves back into the light, which people say is a trap. It's not a trap, guys. That's a trap. What they're saying is a trap. What they're doing to you is telling you that that's a trap. So then you won't walk into the light, so then you will be trapped. Trust me, I know this. Why? Because I've worked with clients for all these years, and those who talk about this trap just regurgitate other people's information, so they know nothing. And I had to take somebody off my site because they were so brainwashed in believing this new idea that when you go home and into the light, you're in a trap. It's the furthest. It's unbelievable. I struggle to even speak about it, because if that's the case, then wouldn't spirit tell me? Wouldn't they be saying to me, oh no Mark, it's because they don't even know? Yeah, well, there's not much chance of an argument then, is there? I think you've got all the bases covered, mate. Well, I tell you what, if I'm moving into the light, trust me guys, I'm moving into the light. You go away, where are you going to go? You're going to go into the darkness? Oh, that's the light, is it? Oh, right. Trick, is it? Oh, yeah. Makes complete sense. I think the only tricks in the world that you're talking about is this world. There ain't no tricks when you move into the light. However, there is the energy of our self-policing by what we've been told. And it's interesting, because this is really interesting, guys. They're telling you to go into not to go into the light. So here's how I've understood all of this, okay? I used to go into houses, and I used to sit there and listen to stories that I used to tut and think, what am I doing here? These people are crazy. Because they're telling me a story that there's something in the house, and they believed it was a ghost. So I'd say, okay, this is when I first started, right? And because I was doing psychic work, they thought I'd be able to help. And, oh, well, you speak to spirit. Well, it's not as if I speak to spirit like that. I just stick to my clients, and then I start to, like, give them information. Well, that means you're speaking spirit. Well, at the time, I didn't know whether I was or whether it was just a psychic connection. And I didn't want to call myself a medium. I said, I don't know, but let me try. And then they'd say, man, nobody knows. Only what you've said, nobody else knows that, Mark. So it must have been my auntie, or it must have been my grandma or my best friend, because nobody else knows this. So where else is this coming from? well, it could be coming from your brain. This is my brain kicking in. So it could be, well, then it all changed when I realized that I wrote it in my book. Somebody brought a picture out, two ladies brought a picture out, they were sisters, and they said, this is my dad. And I instantly said, it just came out of nowhere, said, that's not your dad. What? Where's that come from? So, and then I said, oh, you've got another picture somebody's got another picture here, and I explained exactly what the picture looked like, and she went, oh my God, she took it out of her pocket. It was in a purse, and she showed it, and it was, that's our uncle. I said, no, that's your dad. Anyway, they went off and they found out it was absolutely true. It was kept from them. Anyway, so then I realized, well, they didn't know that, so it couldn't have come from the head, right? This is what I'm trying to say. I know I go all over the place, but then I realized it must be something else. There must be something else intervening here. And then the more I accepted it and the more I worked with it, then I said, well, and they'd say to me, oh, could you tell me something? I'm feeling really sad and down. Could you give me some information? And I always remember a girl with bright red hair. She sat down and she was crying. She says, can you tell me? And I said, it's 3 years to the day that you feel like you made the biggest mistake of your life, and that she don't worry, she won't even. I hadn't seen her for years, so I can tell this story. This is one what I was going to write in a book. She had a boyfriend for a short while, then he raped her, right? So she didn't keep the child because the feeling of the rape, she lost the plot, and she went and had an abortion, and it was 3 years to the day, and I could clearly see. And I said, this was one of the first and most powerful encounters for me. But I was working really hard, so I was getting better at it. I had to work at this. Oh my God! I said, and my eyes are closed, and I can see this little girl. She's about 3 years old to the day. I said 3 years old to the day. Yeah, I said 3 years old to the day. Anyway, I'm saying this little girl. She looks about 3. And she's smiling, and she said she's coming back again, right? So that's all I said. And I could see this little brightly sparky girl with beautiful cheeks and red hair, and it was beautiful hair. Anyway, she burst into tears, and she says, yeah, 3 years ago to this day. And she told me the story. So, okay, she was happy because this child was coming back when she was going to have another, when she was getting pregnant to a beautiful soul. So this soul was coming back again. That was really interesting. I could go down many paths now. Point being, what was the point? So, So we were talking about spirit, and we were talking about how the darkness is revealed as the fear or the arrogance or the I wouldn't say evil, but dark energy that resides within what we've done before we move into the light. So the choice is yours before you move into the light. If you, it's really hard to explain, but I have tried to explain this before. When you're at a front door and you're a little child, and you know you've done something or you haven't done something that you should have done, and the teacher says you're going to go home and tell your parents what you've done today because you're in big trouble. Or you might have stole something from a shop, and the police officer's coming round at 6 o'clock and he sends you home and says, I'll be sending a bobby round, whatever it may be. Or I've done something really bad. I've hurt somebody really bad. I may have killed somebody. I may have done something terrible. I may have done bad things all my life. Okay? So it's a bit like when we move into the light, just at that point, everything is revealed to us, but the brain is still active and we're still seeing this. So we're at the point there, like, you know you want to go home, but now you don't want to upset. It's not out of fear. It's out of, there's a kind of religious aspect to this. You know, you're told that you're going to burn in hell as well. So you've got that energy. You've got so many different aspects of what you're told as you're going to die. You know, you're going to hell kind of thing. So this fear factor of going into the light is a fear of what could happen, or you don't want to face your maker, because remember, you're told that you're going to be judged by God. So all of these things you either accept and move into the light. This is why a lot of priests say all your sins are resolved. There's a reason for that. I'm sure of it, because if you can absolve everything, then you've got a clean slate, and then you'll walk into the light because you've got no fear. So that's an interesting subject. But then there's also, if a priest isn't there and you're told that you're going to burn in hell forever, but God loves you, then you're not going to go into the light. So there are many factors of why people don't go into the light. And when they don't go into the light, that is when they're trapped in between two worlds. So that's when the misnomer of these ideas of, you know, David Icke writing a book called The Trapped. I haven't read his book, but I presume when I heard him on an interview with his son Gareth, he said that when his son asked him, well, where would you go then if you don't go into the light? He hadn't got a clue. And the reason why he hasn't got a clue, because he doesn't know what he's writing about. He's just making things up. And that's okay, because there's truth in everything. But if you would have worked with me for 20 years and gone into homes and I could have a talk to David, no problem. I could talk to anybody about this. Why? Because I've experienced it, so I've got the answers to what I'll say. I don't know that, or I don't know that, but I know pretty much everything there is to know about death and being trapped in between two worlds and going home and speaking to spirit thereafter. So, you know, if you're trapped in between two worlds, you ain't going to the spirit world. You're where you are. You're not going anywhere. You're staying right where you are. We call it trapped in between two worlds, but it's basically here in between this world and our home world. And it's a place that you can be here for thousands of years. That's why some ghosts, we call ghosts, apparitions, keep appearing. The reason why is because they're trapped. And normally that reason is because they've either taken their life or somebody's taken their life quickly. And that's why on motorways there's spirit trapped in between two worlds a lot of the times. And I feel them as I'm driving, and I'm thinking, oh, I felt a spirit then. And sure enough, there's some flowers at the side of the road. So, and I can go into a house and there's spirit trapped. Why is that? Because you look at the house and you find out, oh, that person killed themselves, or something really bad happened in that house to them. Or the person wasn't such a good person. That's another, there's so many. I could keep going all day long. So the other side, wrote in my book, Diary of an Accidental Psychic, there was one particular soul spirit that, let me tell you something. I've got to be careful, because everything that I say could backfire, right? When I say trapped, I don't mean trapped like you have to stay in one place and you don't go anywhere. That spirit can and has moved many times and can go places, but it's still in between the two worlds. And I can still feel that spirit, and it can enter into people and cause effect into them people. So I don't mean it stays there, but it does have a reoccurring essence of coming back again or staying in that vicinity, depending on if it likes what it wants or what it wants to be. And it can attach, and there can be attachments of spirit in between two worlds. So my point being to all of this is that when you move into the light, you go home. You're part of oneness. There's no fear, no worry. And again, these are the little things that people are always coming at me with. Well, hang on a minute. I went to a clairvoyant, and the clairvoyant told me that John is really angry and he's mad at so-and-so. And I'm saying, no, he's not angry or mad, because there's no anger and madness when you move into the light. But what they do is show you who they are through the experience of what they had in this world. So how am I to show you if a spirit comes through? How can I show you who they are? I need to know who they are to begin with. So they're going to show me things that you remember and can relate to who they are. So it's an interesting field. It's an interesting subject. Yeah, it's a very interesting subject. But yeah, it's amazing, this field of work, when you're in it, how targeted you are by the good, the bad and the ugly. You really are. And you have to put up with that. And, you know, people have often said to me, why do you do this work if you're always attacked? And I'd say, yeah, it's a great question. And I stopped doing the one-to-ones because I couldn't cope anymore. The one-to-ones were becoming more challenging daily. There were more people who needed help. I couldn't cope with that. And then I realized, you know what? I can't heal enough people in a day. So that's when I made the decision, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to teach. So then I became a teacher. So if I can teach 5 people to learn how to heal and then go out in the world, then they would be doing 5 times as much as I do in a day. So we've grown from a few hundred to thousands now. And the Pure Energy Healing Academy family is huge. They're all over the world and they're spreading daily. So, you know, that was another thing that I needed to understand and work upon, and not feel so guilty that so many people were trying to contact me and saying, Mark, I've got an issue here, I've got a problem here. And that's why I made videos, because all my videos, predominantly, not like this one, but a lot of my videos are made to help people who are practitioners and people who are just struggling in life, and they're in a situation, whether it be breaking up with somebody because of love, or because somebody's passed away and they don't know how to handle that. Healers who are going through certain things like I did, so I can only share what I know, what I went through and how it helped me. But this was put upon me daily, and still is till this day. I might get 50 messages a day of healers, practitioners, not just pure energy healers, but healers from all over the world asking me questions. And if I don't answer, then I'm deemed not a good person. Can you imagine that? You're deemed a bad person if you don't answer somebody's message. Yeah, and then, or then you get the other side, is if I don't answer them, then they start feeling self-pity, and they think that I don't love them and care anymore. And, you know, I've had many a times that I've taken somebody under my wing and wanted to help them, and then realised that I'm not helping them. I'm actually making it worse for them, because I can't break free now, because if I do, they're going to get upset and angry, and then they're going to hate me. And that's happened a few times. So, you know, I look at my past teachers, and it's like I couldn't wait to break free and to be individual and be on my own and get on with my work. But a lot of the times I had to be extremely careful, and I am now, and I will not take anybody under my wing anymore. I just won't do it. Why? Because it backfires and slaps you right in the face. So you think you're being kind and caring, and then you realise that they're not. They just don't want to break free from you, and they don't want you to go anywhere. They need you, and you're the only one who can help them. And it's like, that's not why I did it. That's not why I'm helping you. And that's why I talk a lot about this line in the sand. Don't cross it. Help somebody, but don't live their life. And it's so easy to cross over that out of love, and then they put their feet up and they don't do anything. Why? Because you're doing it all. And as soon as you say, look, I didn't do this for you just to not do anything, you've got to now do something yourself. I'm giving you the tools, but why aren't you doing it? Why are you scared? Why are you frightened? Get on with it. Do it. That's the whole part of it. No, I can't. Where are you going? Don't do that. Oh, my life's ruined now. Look what you've done to me. You've done this. You've got it. Like, this has happened a few times to me. And I'm being honest here, guys. It's a challenge. So, you know, from wanting to do good, and you'll probably have gone through it yourself. You probably want to help somebody, and then you realise, hey, this isn't working. This isn't what I signed up for. I said I'd help you, but not to live your bloody life. And this is how it feels. Like, every day you're putting upon me. Do something yourself. Get on with it. Show me that what I'm giving you is helping and making a difference. And as soon as it doesn't, and you realise that, boy, you better watch out. So I make this video not to moan, which it probably sounds like a moaning video, not to sound angry, but somebody will obviously point a finger and say I'm angry. I'm not angry at all. In fact, when I finish this video, I'm going to have a beautiful evening. I'm going to relax, meditate, and I'm so grateful for everything that's happened, because what I've shared with you now is only the darker side of things, but there is a lighter side to all of this. And that lighter side is that I've learned so much in life, that my experience through working with thousands of souls one-to-one. It's made me the person that I am, stronger than ever. I would never be the person that I am. I look at people around me, my family and friends, and I'm so grateful for what I've been through. I'm so grateful. I've learned and I've become stronger, more balanced. And it's been a great ride thus far. And maybe one day I'll say enough is enough and completely finish and do something else. I might go into sculpting. I don't know what, but every day is a beautiful day and I'm going to enjoy it. And yes, the reason why I make this video is just to make some of you think a little bit that, you know, there's a lot of pressure on one single person. And all I've ever done is put videos out there and shared my tools that I've worked with from 38 years old to 55 that helped me as a healer. That's all I've done. Hey guys, I've used these tools. They work really well. Oh, can I buy one off you? Yeah, I'll see if I can buy one. So I find one, work on it and say, yeah, I've worked on it, put a few hours into it. Oh, I'd love that. And then it's grown into the business that it has. All the oils that I've worked with. Oh, I'd love some of your oils, Mark. No problem. I'm working on some now. You want me to gift you some? Most of it was gifted. But then I had to start a business. No choice. Couldn't continue gifting away. I just didn't have enough money. So then I started, and people who are happy to pay. People who are happy to buy the crystals. People who are happy to say, Mark, you go out and find the crystal. You go hunt for the best crystal you can, which I do to this day. I've got some over there, the most beautiful crystals in the world that I'm working on. Why? Because people wanted them. Never had to push, never had to force, never had to advertise anywhere on any social media. People just came because they know quality and they know that I'm a healer and I've worked with crystals for over 20 years. So it's grown, and the family that we have of Pure Energy Healing is grown. The Pure Energy Healing family is massive now. And if you want a healing session, you just go to the PureEnergyHealingAcademy.com and just book a session with one of the beautiful healers. Find a healer. It's on that page. They're amazing. And they're all pure energy healers. They've studied 4 days and intensively studied, and they're practicing. Most of them are practicing healers. They've got shops, they've got academies, they work all over the world. They're amazing. They're growing and growing. Bigger than me, some of them. And it's brilliant. It's beautiful. Keep going. Make a difference in the world. So I don't ever regret what I've done and what I do to this day. And if I ever decide one day to say, okay guys, I think there's enough videos on there, and I think enough is enough now. I think I've done my time. I'm ready to retire. I'm 55, ready to retire. 5 years too, you can only retire at 70. What are you talking about? No, that's a program. I can retire when I want. And retiring doesn't mean finishing work, because I'll never stop work. But the work I'm talking about might be completely different. So why is Mark talking about retiring? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's starting to hit me now that, you know, the amount of people that are demanding because of what the world has gone through these 3 years can take its toll. And I either switch off completely and say, see you later, everybody, love you all, but I think I'm done now. I've done my bit. I think I've done my bit. I think I've done my best. Feels like it anyway. I've put out a good few videos there. There's a few thousand videos there, if not 1,000 some videos. There's a lot of hours of videos. If you were to spend 4 years, you know, every day watching them videos, you probably still wouldn't get through them all. And there's some pretty good videos on there of some great information. The Pure Energy Healing Academy is growing every day. The amazing Leila Sati is the director, and she's building it up no end. And we're getting so many new people wanting to become healers, and I can understand why. I can totally get it now. People are going through a lot of pain and suffering, more than ever. And I've seen a lot of suffering over these 20 years, but not as much as now. Not as many illnesses and sicknesses that have occurred because of Britney Spears. But yeah, the mental torture and the mental suffering that so many children and adults have gone through these 3 years. There's a lot of work to be done by all those healers who are fresh, young, have got amazing energy, and they're ready to, become the next amazing healer in this world. So all of these things are factors to me that are making me slow down a bit and making me realise it's maybe time to pass the gauntlet on to other people in this world, to share their light and their experience. And I do hope that there are people out there who are continuing daily as practicing healers, because it's not easy. It's not easy, as you know, if you're a healer. It takes a lot of doing. It takes a lot of commitment. It really does. And you've got to be very strong, both mind, body and spirit, cleansing, clearing, working every day in these energies. So I respect all the pure energy healers at the Pure Energy Healing Academy. Well done, guys. You're doing great. On a side note, we do have a course coming up on the 9th, and that's interactive. So you'll see me online, and we'll be able to talk after your day. And that should be amazing. I think Layla sent me a message, I think yesterday, saying that a lot of people are jumping onto the course, so thank you. And it's not just because there's a sliding scale, and that what we did was, I think some point this year we realized that people were absolutely broke, they had no money at all, and I said okay, because I'm one for working at something and not just getting it for nothing, because it's not valued at anything then. But I thought, okay, if people are really, really struggling, we'll put the sliding scale on and we'll put it right down. So if you want to book on that course now, you've only got, I think, a few hours, and then it stops because it's, oh yeah, you've only got a few hours. At 12 o'clock tonight, the sliding scale disappears and then it goes back to a fixed price. So you can actually book on the next on the next Pure Energy Crystal Healing course for, I think, those who just have no money at all. And please, this is for people who don't have the money. I think it's as little as 200. It's absolutely amazing. And normal price is, I don't know whether it was 600, 700, 800. It's an amazing course. So yeah, a lot of people are taking advantage of the course right now and booking online. So I'll see you on the 9th. I'll see you on the 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th for a beautiful 4-day experience to become an amazing healer, to learn how to heal yourself, and certainly to work with crystals and understand them better than you've ever understood them before. I'm sure you'll learn a lot from the crystal course. But the crystal course is all about healing people as well. So even if you've got 2 or 3 crystals, you can use them and work with them, as well as learning pure energy healing. So it's a great course. I think that's it really. It's 47 minutes. I wanted to do an hour video. I want to end on finally on a positive note. What we've done in this lifetime, there is definitely a ripple effect, and it strengthens the whole of the world in so many ways. Don't ever stop sending love and healing. Don't ever stop smiling. Don't ever stop being amazing. Don't let the buggers grind you down. Don't let people who are in a bad place change your life and happiness. Don't let anybody affect you. If anybody gets affected as much as me, and you can still smile at the end of the day, then you know you are a strong soul. And I know in my heart, and I don't often say it, but I am a very strong soul. I may be passionate. I may be passionate like my mum, Italian. She was passionate with love. And my dad, who was very, very strong, aggressive man, and passionate too. And I've got those 2 energies in me. And I get through life. I get through it. And so do you. And you always will, and you're still here, and you've been through all the pain of these 3 years. I like I said, in 20 years I've never experienced so much suffering that the world, and you had to suffer, and you're still here. So be proud of yourself, be proud of who you are. You've done a great work, because you're still here. You might not feel as good as you did 3 years ago, but you're still here, and you're proving to yourself that you are a warrior of the light, and you are. To get through it, you're a warrior. So be amazing, and I'll see you next year. What a cliche. Ooh, that's a long time away. Yeah, what do you mean next year? You mean tomorrow? I'll see you next year, guys. I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. Please don't take the first bit as a moan. It wasn't. It was just giving you an idea of what a healer has to go through, right? So when you are a healer, you have to always be aware that healers have to learn how to put up with negativity of every description. And we're still here. and we're still smiling. So if you ever care for a pure energy healing 1 hour 20-minute healing session, then simply go to the pureenergyhealingacademy.com and click find a healer and book yourself a session. You might find it may change your life forever. Have a great day. Take care. Till next year. Go on then, switch off.